Hi everybody, welcome to FRAG-MENTAL. I'm Chris, thanks for joining me. Today I'm talking about Spiritus Dei from Dua Fragrances. This is their version of By Kilian's Single Malt. Stay tuned to FM. I've been wearing Spiritus Dei from Dua Fragrances now for a few weeks, and I've got to say, I really enjoy it. You've got a gorgeous, smooth, sweet single malt whiskey accord going on. Notes in this are single malt whiskey, plum, in the heart there's wheat, in the base there's cedar, there's vanilla, and the overall vibe that you get from this is a gorgeous, smooth, sweet single malt whiskey. Even though Dua list whiskey as a note, I don't think there's a molecule that recreates whiskey. I think it's probably the combination of all the other notes in there that combine to produce this gorgeous whiskey accord. I've spent a little bit of time in the Highlands of Scotland, and when I smell Spiritus Dei, it really takes me back to a real definitive whiskey moment for me. I was in a pub just outside Fort William with some friends, and behind the bar of this pub they had the largest array of whiskies you've ever seen. And the guy who worked behind the bar, he was a real whiskey connoisseur. And not really knowing a lot about whiskey, we wanted to ask him a lot of questions, and we asked him what he would recommend to us to drink. So he asked us what drinks we like, and based on that, he recommended a gorgeous drop called Dalwhinnie. And I just remember taking that glass of Dalwhinnie and swirling the whiskey around in the glass, closing my eyes and breathing in those gorgeous whiskey fumes. So Spiritus Dei takes me back to that moment. And there's another little story, just as an aside. We then went on to speak to the guy behind the bar, and we wanted to know what the most expensive whiskey was that he'd ever drunk. And he said that some friends of his, for his birthday, treated him to a £500 shot of whiskey. They took him to a pub somewhere in Scotland. I don't remember where it is now. And this bottle of whiskey wasn't even on display, it was just for those people in the know. And this £500 shot of whiskey came out, and he took it. And we said to him, what shot of whiskey could ever be worth £500? And he looked at us and he went all serious, and he said, whiskey that went down with the Titanic. And this whiskey had been retrieved from the bottom of the ocean, and they were selling it for £500 a shot, and he said it just tasted amazing. He said it was the best whiskey he'd ever tasted. I mean, you'd hope so for £500, but just an interesting little whiskey story I wanted to share with you, which was all part of the same moment of me discovering that Dalwhinnie. The other note that I really love in Spiritus Dei is plum, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I don't think I've really smelled any other fragrances that have a prominent plum note, but if they smell as nice as the plum in this one, I will definitely be checking out more plum-based fragrances. Really nice. You may be wondering how close the Dua is to the original single malt. So in the interests of research and providing you with accurate information, I'll do a side-by-side test. I'll have the original single malt here. I will have Spiritus Dei by Dua here. So here's the original single malt. Gorgeous. So that's the original. Let's try the Dua. Whew. Wow. To my nose, the Dua is exact to the original single malt. Your next question might be, how does it compare to By Kilian's single malt? I've also done some side-by-side testing. I've had the By Kilian on one hand and Spiritus Dei on the other, and side by side they're near enough to exact. Spiritus Dei is just a great recreation. If anything, it's maybe a touch sweeter in the opening, but there's hardly anything in it. The difference for me came in the performance. By Kilian's single malt lasted around 6-7 hours, whereas the Dua Spiritus Dei lasted 8 to 10 hours. So possibly a higher concentration than By Kilian's. You can get 30 ml of Spiritus Dei on Dua's website for $55. If you're based in the UK, obviously add some shipping onto that. As far as I can tell, By Kilian's single malt looks to be £250 for 50ml, and it's not widely available as far as I can see. So there's a bit of a difference in price. If you're thinking you might like the vibe of By Kilian Single Malt, then I can highly recommend Spiritus Dei from Dua. In terms of who could wear this, well, it's unisex, and I think anyone, maybe over the age of 25, could quite easily pull this one off. When could you wear this? Well, I'd say it's pretty versatile. I probably wouldn't want to be wearing it in weather that was too warm, but some cooler spring days, the winter, the autumn or fall, and I'd say this would work pretty well as a classy evening scent. Okay, that's my take on Spiritus Dei from Dua. If you like boozy fragrances, if you like the note of whiskey, if you like By Kilian's Single Malt but you're looking for a more affordable option, then Spiritus Dei could be a really good one to go for. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've tried By Kilian's Single Malt or Dua's Spiritus Dei, please let me know what you think about the comparison between those two. Have you tried Dalwhinnie or any other single malt Scotch whiskies? Let me know, leave some comments down below. Don't forget to hit the bell to enable notifications, give me a like, and until next time, keep tuning into FM and keep smelling good. Cheers. Woohoo! Ah! Woo! Nip, 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 nip. So that's the original. Woo! Nip, nip, woo! 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 Nip, 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 nip. Hey? No, it was Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey. They'll never know.